The Loch Lochy block instruments and token exchange equipment relies upon the Microsoft SQL Server database, and that is configured via a web browser, which you see in front of you. In order to start, we need to set up routes. Here are the stations that are within the route and the trains that are available for that route. We can add extra stations if we want, like so, or we can add specific trains that are available to be used in that route, like so. We can also adjust the timings between the stations, and you can see here that between Glasgow Queen Street and Helensburgh Upper it is 10 minutes, Crean Larrick a further 10 minutes, 3 minutes waiting time at Helensburgh Upper, and so on. You can also indicate whether the train passes through or not. Once we set up the routes, then we can create timetables. These are existing timetables. We can look at the one that's been configured previously, and we'll set it up for today, and we'll set it up for a suitable time, say at 11:15. And you can see that it's imported the routes that have been configured previously for that timetable. So the idea now in timetable mode is that people will try and run trains against those times. They can be changed, and in the screen you can indicate if they're cancelled, or if something goes wrong and you want to mark it as completed, you can also do so from here. You can see the timings for an individual route, which has been set up here. You can edit those if you so wish. There's only 2 stations on this railway, so the only ones we're particularly concerned about are the ones between Spey Bridge and Loch Lochy. But there's no reason why you couldn't have as many stations as you wished using this system. Once the timetable has been set up, then you can choose whether to activate it, or you could choose whether to use it in spontaneous mode instead. All aspects of the system can be configured in the settings screens. So for example, we can change the different stations that are on the route, the head codes that are used for them, which are used in the train displays, and other information such as the audio announcement file that is associated with that station. A quick look at the announcement screen. Here is the dashboard, and you can see here the particular station that the announcements are being played out from. You can choose the type of announcement. These are different voices. The PA indicates that they've had public address effects added to them. You can also turn on and off things like general announcements. You can play general announcements immediately from here. Pauses between announcements, whether there are random announcements, chimes before the start of announcements, etc. They can all be configured from this screen. Once you have done that, you can also then configure the announcements themselves. We can choose a particular announcement, and we can choose the type of announcement. In other words, is it arriving, cancelled, and the direction of the train. Once we have set that up, then we can choose the individual words and phrases that make up that announcement. So you can see here the column at the end indicates what that announcement is comprised of. So it's comprised of a basic announcement saying the train shortly arriving at Loch Lochy is the. It will then insert the appropriate time. It will then insert the word from, and then it will insert the appropriate first station for that timetable. And in that way you can build up announcements and phrases as required for different events. So finally, let's look at the train describer. This simulates the black and yellow screens that are shown at stations, not so common these days. If we look at Loch Lochy, this is what it would look like, and it will change and update, indicate delays or cancellations as appropriate. So that's the control system. Let's look now at the block instruments themselves. This is the block instrument at Spey Bridge, which is in effect the fiddle yard, and this is the block instrument at Loch Lochy. They're made of 2 halves. One is the train indicator, showing whether a train is coming from or going to, or the line is clear, and also includes the train in section indication and the bell tapper. The lower section is for token exchange. You can issue or replace a token. You can also cancel a token given certain criteria. So let's follow through a train movement. First off, call attention, and AutoKen in this mode replies. I indicate it's a local passenger, 3-1, and AutoKen responds and holds down the last beat of the bell, which flashes my token issue lamp. Doing so, I then receive a token which unlocks the interlocking, enabling me to clear the starter signal, and then the train can depart. The audio announcement is also triggered by this movement. Once the train leaves, I send 2-2, and that indicates on the train entering section indication. Once the train arrives at Speyen Bridge, AutoKen responds with a 2-1, holding down the last beat, and I can replace the token.